Well, the power of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is making waves on Capitol Hill already. Just yesterday, House lawmakers were set to vote on a new short-term spending bill that looks like an omnibus because it's 1,500 plus pages. They were trying to avoid a government shutdown, but the proposal all but imploded after the leaders of DOGE took a closer look. Here's Vivek Ramaswamy.
Congress is about to pass a bill that blows away your taxpayer money, but they made it over 1,500 pages long so you wouldn't read it. I did you a favor. I read it for you. It contains all kinds of special interests and pork funding. And the worst part is, they didn't want you to know about any of it, and that's why they made this a last-minute jam job.
Elon Musk was quick to react after lawmakers canceled their vote. Here's what he said. Your elected representatives have heard you, and now the terrible bill is dead. The voice of the people has triumphed. President-elect Trump and Vice President-elect J.D. Vance followed with this joint statement. Republicans must get smart and tough. If Democrats threaten to shut down the government unless we give them everything they want, then call their bluff. It is Schumer and Biden who are holding up aid to our farmers and disaster relief. This chaos would not be happening if we had a real president. We will in 32 days. Speaker Johnson now says he's considering a slimmer Plan B without all the excessive spending highlighted by DOGE. Tudor, your take.
Well, I think Speaker Johnson right now is in a situation where he knows that his speakership is on the line, right? And he knows that he better not get in Trump's way. Trump came out and made a statement, we are going to slim down government. This is his opportunity to show people that he's willing to work with them. You know that everybody has come out and attacked the speaker over this. Trump has not yet. Trump is letting him see if he will come back to him. He's giving him a chance. I think this is the new Trump that we're seeing, where it's like, hey, I won't attack you right away. You show me you want to work with me, but if you don't, get out of my way. I'm done. And that's where we are.
And reportedly, Shannon, that's what Trump has said. If you can make this work, if you can figure it out, I'm paraphrasing him, come up with another way to get this done, then you can stay. Was what was on our screen for about an hour.
Yeah, and it's really tricky because the reality of getting something done in Washington, the House is only controlled by Republicans by the tiniest fraction. They don't have the Senate. They don't have the White House. So Johnson's hands are limited. They are tied. I think he's trying to do the best he can with, this sausage-making episode of what he's got to work with. I, in my mind, see him on the phone with them or at Mar-a-Lago going, help me, help
with
you.
Whom?
Help me, help you. Okay. From Jerry Maguire, because I think that he is like, there's only so much I can do.
And Elon?
I think that the speaker is saying that to the president. Like, I want to help you, but you got to meet me where I am, which is the reality of like this tiny little group I've got to work with. That's all I got.
Yeah, but I'm confused by that because the president made it very clear what he wanted. He wanted a short term, just an amount of time that got him into office. We would have been looking just a few days after January 20th. Instead, Republicans waited until December, right before Christmas. And I mean, if you've looked at it, now I'm not like Vivek. I can't speed read 1,500 pages and do shows. But, I mean, if you look at it, there's just some really Democrat-loving stuff in there. And a 40% raise for lawmakers when they haven't had a balanced budget in years.
And there's that slush fund that they get access to for all these years that was revealed. Look, at the end of the day, I think that this is sort of a good illustration of the old guard and the old ways bumping up against it. No, actually, we're not going to do that anymore. No, just because it's tradition or just because it's baked into the institution or it has been concretized as such, we will no longer accept it. And I like that the power of the people was reflected in that pressure. I think all too often we see on the internet and in social media a sort of mass energy that's pointed toward either nonsense or something that the CCP wants us to be, wants it to be turned toward. If it's actually toward civic engagement for the betterment of us in the way of efficiency, that's phenomenal. The final point is this, that when I was a federal attorney, many times we bumped up against the spending bills and we would have these, furloughs or almost furloughs. And the amount of waste that occurs in the preparation for a furlough cannot be overstated because we would have to draft everything just in case. So just think, my point is already your tax dollars have been totally squandered this whole week and then some, even dealing with this. And I hope that this pattern is now stopped.
Well, and that's what Josh Hawley of Missouri was saying, the show me state. And I could sort of hear him saying in my head, show me the proof that this isn't going to hand incoming President Trump another shutdown in March. Like, he's saying this is just, going on and on and on.
Yeah.
So, I come back to this, Todd, because the farmers, the aid for storms and all those things, those should have been emergency type executive actions from Biden. Like, we should have seen aid after the hurricanes that we've seen this season already. And I called for a farming czar, a week ago on this very couch. I mean, we need somebody to take a look at the pricing of food right now and how we can help that farm to table, how we can do that, because energy prices are so high. Look, these are emergencies. Why are they tied to this bill?
Such a great point, because food has been high for years now. Why are we waiting till the week before Christmas? That hurricane happened months ago. Why are we waiting until the week before Christmas? One thing that's stunning to me, and I'm going to call it the Republicans, the House Republicans here. I understand legislating is hard, and I understand, to Shannon's point, Democrats control the White House and the Senate. But all these Republicans who on the campaign trail said, we totally agree with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, Doge is the way to go, and they won by supporting a paring down of the federal government. Now, when push comes to shove, you come up with a 1,500-page CR the week before Christmas. It's disingenuous. It's not what the American people voted for. The American people gave Donald Trump, Elon Musk, and Vivek Ramaswamy a mandate to trim our government. Department of Government Efficiency. That's what the people voted for, and you're not giving it to them with this bill.
So I will argue, how many times have you said to your kids, like, we're not doing this anymore, and they agree, and then they go do it because they go back to the status quo unless you hold the line? And I think that's what it's been in government for way too long. And now Trump he's the father figure that's going to come in. And even in his first term, he wasn't as strict about this. This is different. He's gonna hold them accountable for what they're spending.
Well, I have to hold the line on the facts because I was wrong. It's not a 40% raise. If you're making $180,000, it's an increase of $6,600. So that's about a 3.8% raise in 2025. So it happens almost immediately for the incoming Congress. So I gave them much more than a raise than even they were asking for, but it's a big chunk of change.
It's not just the raise.
Servicemen get that raise. Do the lawmakers really need it?
It's not just the pay raise. The average American is not getting the health insurance that they're getting in this.
Oh, wow.
They want to get out of the Obamacare exchanges.
As sports fans, they're getting a stadium so that when they're in D.C., they can go, I know you're going to get mad at me for that.
No, not at all. But it's transferring who can control or have ownership of that stadium. So it's not like they're going to go spend $10 billion in a stadium, which I'm sure a lot of people in Washington would like for us to do. We're not going to do that. Part of the problem with getting to the 1,500 plus pages is even if they did something clear, you didn't have enough Republicans voting for that. So you got to make a deal with Democrats, and that's where all those Christmas ornaments get added to that tree.
You also, according to Congresswoman Taylor Greene, you also didn't have enough Republicans having a voice because you just had a few at the top. And she said she doesn't know she put this on X, doesn't know a single Republican who was part of the negotiations. So that's a problem, too. Again, not all voices represented there from rank and file. It is. More Outnumbered in a moment.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.